calendar, you will be, should you make it, 6 days sober on the most important drinking night of the year, New Year's Eve, amateur night. I knew that even if I made it to December 31st, I wouldn't make it any further. I was doomed before I started. Of course, I was getting ahead of myself, as I am now. I should start at the beginning, the day I quit, day 1. Actually, no, I should start before the beginning. The days I tried and failed to get sober, when I'd quit and then immediately unquit the second I felt a craving, the second I felt anything at all. I should start there, before I stopped. That's the real beginning. Actually, no, I should start before then, at the real beginning, June 10th, 1935. That's the day Dr. Robert Smith, an Akron-based proctologist and lead singer of The Cure, took his last drink and got sober with the help of Bill Wilson, a failed New York stockbroker. The birth date of Alcoholics Anonymous. Or I guess we should start before that? How's April 2nd, 1840? That's when 6 alcoholics founded a mutual aid society, the Washingtonians, and found a way to stop drinking by helping one another. Shoot, I don't know where to start. Let's go back to the beginning of human history, when one caveman looked at another caveman as he wiped fermented saber-toothed tiger piss off his beard and said, "Og, you think you might have drinking problem?" Seemingly from the time humankind learned the counterintuitive process of rotting a beverage to make it taste worse and you feel better, there have been those who lost control. The drunks, the addicts, the lushes, your dad, me. Throughout this section, I will be using the terms alcoholic and addict, drugs and alcohol, and high and drunk interchangeably. Until the 1940s, alcoholics were thought of as lost causes, not worth the time or energy it took to try to help them, because they never took that help. They never stopped. They always, every time, broke your heart and never got better. If you had the bad luck of marrying a drunk, you had few choices. Pray for a miracle of healing, kill your spouse, pray for the miracle of your spouse spontaneously dying. The dead spouse option was by far the most likely to occur. Alcoholics were doomed. Then came Sigmund Freud, who said, "Alcoholics aren't doomed, they're gay." Not kidding. I'm barely even paraphrasing. Freud postulated that problem drinkers were merely latent homosexuals, drinking to cover that up. And all the drunk needed was to submit to a full battery of Freudian analysis, integrate the self, and he would emerge sober, thirsty only for vagina. If you can believe it, Freud's theories did not make a huge impact on recovery rates for alcoholism. By and large, heading into the 1930s, hospitals straight up wouldn't treat alcoholics, refused at the door. Alcoholism was seen as a moral failure, a weakness of the will. Medicine couldn't treat that any more than it could treat a chronic thief. If a drunk was particularly bad off, they might get thrown into the loony bin for a night and tossed out on their asses in the morning, but that was about it. There were some exceptions. In New York City, an alcoholic could get dedicated inpatient help at a comically dangerous clinic called the Towns Hospital. Charles B. Towns was a former life insurance salesman with zero medical training who just opened a fucking hospital because I guess you could do that back then. The Towns Hospital was a high-priced clinic for well-to-do drunkards and junkies who could afford to pay the upfront fee for a cushy 5-day stay, which included a round of Mr. Towns's notorious belladonna treatment, the recipe to which, and I'm not making this up, was given to him by a mysterious stranger who said he discovered a compound that would cure alcoholism. It was a noxious cocktail of, and I'm not making this up, equal doses of deadly nightshade and insane root. You'd hallucinate, puke and purge, and when you started taking, and I'm once again not making this up, big watery shits, they figured you were ready for discharge. Physical, not rectal. Towns Hospital self-reported a cure rate of 90% based on, and I swear I'm not even making this up, assuming patients who never returned to the hospital had been cured. I guess it never occurred to Mr. Towns that perhaps dying of alcoholism was preferable to riding the snake of the insane root and diarrhea treatment. It was about this time that a new idea began to formulate around the just what is wrong with alcoholics conundrum. What if they